Hey everybody, welcome back. We're going to chat about a question that you guys have that is a really big question, a little bit hard to achieve without the right guidance, but it's how do I get a windfall of leads from creating strategic partnerships with kind of big third parties. So we're talking about big banks, big builders, lawyers, mortgage brokers, like types of people and companies that are just big enough, that have enough inventory and a big enough database that if you get in their good books and you build those relationships and you become their go-to, that suddenly you guys have a lot of leads coming to you all the time. So we're going to chat about that. A little bit of a disclaimer first. Lindsey, you can speak to this. And I know from experience from some people who have been on some of our lead generating teams that it's also very dangerous to get too comfortable or get too lazy once you have these relationships.
Yeah, you know, it's this table, which you maybe can't really see because of the lighting, this table has one stand on the middle of it. And I always use this as an example of your marketing. If your marketing is like a table that has only one middle pillar in it holding it up, if that pillar gets chopped out, it's going to fall over. And your business, if it's reliant, see, some people land these big builders or a relocation company, and then they rely solely on that source of business. And I've seen it with some of our realtors too, where they get this, all their other business falls off, they stop business generation of all other means, and then this bank or builder switches allegiances, stops the program that they're originally running, and now you're left with nothing.
Well, and it's not even necessarily, you know, switching allegiances, but the economy is a really big indicator. In terms of relocation, like I could name quite a few realtors that do a ton or did a ton of relocation business. And as soon as the economy changed, let me tell you, there are a lot fewer people moving to Calgary right now to work in our oil sector. And there's some people that I know that we're getting, you know, upwards of 15 relocation deals from people specifically based on business here. So that dries up.
True.
And what happens, you know, same with some of the builder leads, a regulation could change, something happens or doesn't happen. I mean, you know, Ian Wisdom was on recently looking at Okotoks, and there was a time where they said, we're not building in Okotoks anymore.
I know people that built their whole business off for sale by owners. Suddenly, around, you know, open it up to MLS, mirror listings. That whole change. So don't rely on just one source. So that's my only disclaimer to this section.
Yes, but now we're going to talk about how to get the source.
Continue doing your other sources of business. But now we're going to talk about how to do this.
So let's talk. So Lindsey, let's talk about the big ones.
Yeah. So I always say if you're going to invest the time in this, you want to look for the big fish who can produce. And I always think about Las Vegas analogy, where these hosts of casinos are trying to land the whales, not someone who's playing, you know, $25 a hand. They want to find the person who's going to play $25,000 a hand. So that's what you want to court the big fish. And so I think they're builders who obviously have inventory like spec homes and spec builds and existing inventories. But there's also the fact that the people that walk into the show homes, if your builder has a guaranteed sale program or something, they have homes to sell. So people always think, oh, I want the builder's listings, but you're actually looking also for the clients and their homes to sell. And that's even bigger because every buyer that comes in there, chances are they have another home that needs to be sold. And that's where a lot of information comes in. Also banks, in terms of walk-in traffic to their branches, saying, oh, I need a mortgage. CIBC, when I walked in there and I was getting deposits for the house, they're like, oh, you know, do you need a mortgage? And that would have been a lead. But there's also foreclosure business from banks, which can be huge. Relocation companies, Kirsten mentioned that. Lawyers, family lawyers who are looking to broker transactions between husband and wives, or anything else along those lines. Also, lawyers can be a source of foreclosure business as the banks or the courts look for recommendations of the lawyers.
Well, and one that everybody doesn't think about all the time, but immigration lawyers.
Yes.
That's a huge one.
Totally. Lots of people come in and for new immigrants, it's that first point of contact becomes the go-to for all the other professional services. They'll recommend a bank. They'll recommend a school, a realtor in this case. So a good point, great point on that. The other one is investors, but I'm not talking about someone that just buys like one property a year. We're talking about huge investors that own more than maybe 100 homes, have an investment company that looks to buy land and different properties, multiple properties, or multiple buildings. And the other one is investment groups. You get groups like RAIN, Keyspire, these different groups that do work with realtors under certain circumstances. And if you get in with them, sometimes you can get a windfall of leads as well. And that's where you'll find a lot of the investors that have multiple investments. So those are the fish that you were looking to find here.
So there's a lot of people, not a lot, but there's a select few people, actually, that's better to say it, that have these relationships. And it's kind of hard to break in because a builder can't have 20 go-tos. So talk a little bit about what it means to be a solid number 2 choice.
Yeah, this is so funny because I tell people you should aspire to be second best in everyone's mind. And people are like, well, why would you do that? Well, number one, if Kirsten is a sales manager at a builder and works with a realtor, chances are she has some kind of relationship with them. So I'm not going to go in and say, oh, don't use them, that person's an idiot. It's like calling this person's child ugly. You know, don't do that. So what you want to do, though, is just say, hey, that person you're working with is phenomenal. I'd love to earn your business one day. And if that person ever changes, I'd love to show you some of the cool things we do. And if I can add value anywhere throughout the process, if they're too busy or anything else, I just want to be here as somebody else to keep top of mind with, or someone else for you to think of. And that's it. And this is even with your clients. They might use an uncle, a cousin right now to use their business, but eventually that person might retire, get out of the business.
Yeah, switch jobs.
Yeah.
Right,
so
like that's a huge one.
Number 2 in everyone's mind, because when number 1 goes away, there you go.
You have a number 2.
Yeah.
So the Dream 100, define that, because that's big. Like, I don't even believe it.
Yeah,
It's
big. Believe it, it works. So you have it where, imagine your 100 dream clients. And I got this concept from a gentleman named Chet Holmes that wrote The Ultimate Sales Machine book. He also did the Business Growth Master Series. He works with Charlie Munger, who is Warren Buffett's right-hand guy. Anyways, Chet was awesome. But he came to this concept of the Dream 100. And what it is pick your 100 dream clients. These are the big fish. It could be the Dream 25, the Dream 75, the Dream 50, etc. But you're going to pick these people, and all you're going to do is keep in touch. And you're going to create a strategic program to keep in touch with these people each and every month, because the key to landing builders or any of these people is personal relationships.
Yes.
They have to just look and say that if Kirsten is the realtor, I like Kirsten. She's around. She's trusted. You got to know, like, and trust. That's it. We've had realtors already. There's a realtor here who just started with us, I say in the last sort of 6 months, started implementing this, and within a couple months, I went with them to meet with a builder, and it's phenomenal how quickly this can work.
Yeah.
So
you could start with like your Dream 25.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. It could be the Dream 100, 50, 25. So you just have to pick your clients, put a strategic campaign to keep in touch, and you build relationships, and that's all that happens. Everybody I know that landed builder, they knew somebody or they had met somebody and they were just around. You can't put a price on being around, and they got the business.
Awesome. So a couple different ways to do this, obviously. Everybody knows them. Networking, emails, invites, pop-bys, picking up the phone and calling people. Touch on just a few of those.
Yeah, I'll run through them, 10 seconds on each type of thing here. So networking, show up where they show up. If they're going to the SAM Awards and the Builder Awards, go to the Builder Awards. Pop by the bank, and that's onto pop-bys as well. Bring the person coffee. Bring all the bank tellers coffee. Yeah. Just meet the people, ask for the sales manager to builder, and just be like, hey, I just want to stop by, get coffee. Bring it for the sales reps in there so that they put in a good word for you. Just become likable. Become a good person. Drop off a brochure. That's like networking. Hang around where these people hang around.
Yes.
Emails. Fire them off an email. Hey, I thought you guys might want to see the list of resale solds that happen in that community. See what your competition is on the resale side. Send to the sales reps as well. Become friends with the gatekeepers. If you become friends with the receptionist, she will put your calls through. Otherwise, there's like a wall there. Kirsten is the biggest, her calls go to voicemail and get paged out. I probably shouldn't say the secret. But it's like you become friends with the people, and your calls are more likely to get through.
Right.
So she doesn't screen your guys' calls.
I don't.
Just other people's calls.
Yeah, just other people's calls. Not your calls.
She gets a lot of salespeople.
Yes.
So emails and stuff. Here's some information through email. Here is, like I said, the last sold. You might congratulate somebody on an award they've won. Invites. Maybe you invite somebody out to our Stampede party. You invite someone to the family picnic. You're inviting them to whatever you happen to be doing. You have a client appreciation event. Invite them out to that. Invite to go golfing. Whatever it is, give these person invites so they stay top of mind. They might say no to you 100 times, but you got credit for the invite.
Right.
We talked about Popeyes, just meeting the people.
There is somebody that I've said no to 100 times and didn't pick up phones, didn't pick up emails, and was it the coffee, the gifts, all blah, 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 didn't care at all. And then we ended up having AV company, and this was an AV company, and something happened, it didn't work out. And even though none of that meant anything to me for 3 years, I called them and now we use them.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
So solid number 2. Didn't mean anything at the time, but the second there was something, I was like, oh, these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the last one is just phone calls. Call, just touch base. Hey, hey John, I was just thinking about you. I wanted to see how you're doing. I saw you guys winning that award. I just want to say congratulations. I saw your ad campaign everywhere. I saw it on TV. I thought of you. I just want to say that.
Yeah.
I also want to let you know we got this new program we're running, Best My Nest. I'm going to stop by and drop off a brochure for you. Just want to say hi.
And comment on this is, don't be long-winded and don't take a bunch of people's time, because when you go in and if you're going to drop off people's coffee, if you're going to take up a busy person, like 10 minutes is a lot to interrupt what somebody's doing right now. Like the art of the pop-by, in my personal opinion, is you make a 90-second impression, but not enough that somebody has forgotten half the content they're writing in the email. And same with phone calls, right? Like call quick. It's almost like those Ninja Ford calls. Don't interrupt somebody's day. Don't not want to see somebody's phone number on the other side. Same with emails. Just quick, fast. They're not expecting you to give something long-winded back, so there's no guilt on you to be like, oh, now I have to respond. So make it fast and easy, because looking at if I had to say who my dream 25, 50, 100 are, they're extremely busy people.
Yeah.
So you want to respect that too.
Absolutely. So just make a simple plan. Say, you know what, month 1 is going to be an email, and month 2 is a pop-by. Your first step should be a pop-by, so you actually meet the person, and we're pop by their office, not pop by the spinach guy. Anyways, I've saying it in my head. Didn't make sense. But so every single month, do something different to this person. Start with 20, start with 10, and then work it up until you're keeping in touch with them. And think about this. If one of those people, if that on average they change their allegiances every 10 years, this person got out of the business, they took on a thing, they got too busy, whatever, they made a mistake, and that's why the reason they used number 2, every 10 years, and you're keeping in touch with 50 of them, 5 people a year, 5 of these whales will be switching to the number 2 person, and you're going to be well positioned for that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Hope you guys got something out of that. We will take a short break and be right back with some book recommendations.